Good day, everyone. For today, we will discuss Physical Chemistry 10. So this is the last crash course for our physical chemistry. Okay, so let's talk about surface chemistry. Now, surface chemistry is divided into two main portions. So first part is this one. You have the mamaya makikita natin. The first is, first subtopic is adsorption. The second one is colloids. Okay? So let's define surface chemistry first. It deals with the properties of surfaces, okay, of phase boundaries, and the physical and chemical changes that happen on the interface of a substance. Okay? So ang isa sa mga main topics again is the adsorption. So adsorption is different from absorption. So let me emphasize that those two are different. When you say absorption, okay, lumalampas dun sa interface yung substance concerned. Itong blue natin, lumalampas. Okay? So that's called absorption. Now, adsorption is different. It is the physical or chemical change only happens at the interface. Okay? Dun sa surface nung adsorbent natin. Okay? Ang tawag natin dun sa nag-adhere is adsorbate. Ang tawag natin dun sa dumidikit is adsorbate. Ang tawag natin dun sa nag-a-adsorb is yung adsorbent. Okay? So, take note of those terms. Now, let's go to the kinetics of adsorption. Okay? So, in order for the adsorption to be spontaneous, the process must be exothermic enough to overcome the effect of negative change in entropy. Now, if you remember, in our Pchem, di ba, delta G is equal to delta H minus T delta S. Okay? Now, in order for something to happen, the delta G must be negative. Okay? And your T delta S, di ba, yung T natin should always be positive kasi absolute. Yung delta S natin should be negative. Sir, bakit po negative? Kasi adsorption process yields a more ordered system. 'Di ba? Pag dumidikit yung particles, mas nagiging still sila. So mas nagiging ordered yung system when it is adsorbed. Okay? When it is adsorbed, mas bumababa ang disorder. Kaya negative ang delta S. Okay? So ito yung hindi natin alam pa, kunwari, then minus. Okay? Now we can simplify this. Minus plus positive times negative, this will become negative. Okay? And further, okay, minus negative can be plus positive. Diba? Minus negative, pwede natin siyang isulat as plus positive. Okay? Now, ano dapat yung sign ng delta H natin such that you will have a negative value here? So as you can see, this term is positive. So therefore, kailangan mo dito ng negative for this to become negative. Okay? Now, hindi lang siya dapat basta negative. This should be highly negative para ma-overcome ng enthalpy effect yung entropy effect. Okay? In order for the adsorption to happen. Okay? So, therefore, let me emphasize again that your adsorption process should be highly exothermic. Meaning, kailangan yung mag-remove ng heat or mas nangyayari ang adsorption process if you lower the temperature. Okay? Imagine niyo baliktad. Paano kapag tinaasan natin ang what if tinaasan natin ang temperature or tinaasan natin ang heat content? 'Di ba mas magiging malikot yung particles, mas mahirap ma-absorb. Okay? However, if you remove heat from the system, okay, babagal yung particles natin, okay? Babagal yung particles such that it will be easier for them, for the adsorbate, to adhere on the adsorbent. Okay? So, yun. Next. The kinetics. So, I would just like to emphasize na pag sinabi nating overall adsorption process, that doesn't mean adsorption lang ang nangyayari. It is an equilibrium process. So, meron kang equilibrium ng adsorption at saka ng desorption. So, desorption is different. The desorption is Desorption is the opposite of the adsorption. Yung removal of adhered particles or the adsorbate, okay, pabalik dun sa original natin na carrier. By the way, your carrier can either be, ito yung carrier natin, can either be gas phase or liquid phase. Okay? Yung nagdadala ng adsorbate, okay, these are the adsorbate particles, pwede siyang dalhin ng gas phase or a liquid phase. Of course, your adsorbent should be solid. Dapat lang na solid siya. Okay? Alright. Now, again, emphasize ko lang na it is an equilibrium process. The adsorption and desorption both happen. Okay? However, dapat mataas ang KEQ such that such that dapat mataas ang mas mataas yung mas madaming particles yung nag-adsorb kaysa nade-desorb. Okay? Alright. Next. Desorption is, as the name implies, it's only a physical process. Meaning, physical lang yung attraction ng adsorbate and the adsorbent. Hence, the result is a weaker interaction. However, the stronger one, chemisorption, meron nang nangyayaring chemical reaction. However, sorry, it should be adsorbate, typo. So, adsorbate reacts with the adsorbent. Hence, you will have stronger interaction. So, alam naman natin yun. Pag chemical yung attraction, mas mataas yung, mas strong. Okay? Alright. Next. Isotherms. So, isotherms, these are equations or models. Okay? These are models or equations na ginagamit sa adsorption. Maliban sa dalawang to, Langmuir at Freundlich isotherm, there are two others na common. You have the Temkin isotherm and the BET isotherm or Brunauer-Emmentaler isotherm. Kaso medyo complicated yung equations nila, so we will focus more sa mas common pa dun sa dalawa, the Langmuir and the Freundlich isotherms. Okay? The keyword pag Langmuir isotherm, the main keyword is monolayer. Okay? As the name implies, monolayer means isang layer lang. Okay? For example, meron kang surface dito. Okay? Meron kang surface dyan. Alright? So, for example, ito yung adsorbate natin. Ganyan. So, hindi pwedeng magpatong yung adsorbate sa adsorbate if you assume the Langmuir model. Sa ibang models, pwedeng magpatong-patong. Okay? Pero sa Langmuir, monolayer lamang. Okay? So, the equation is Q equals Q max KLC over 1 plus KLC. C is concentration. Okay? Pwede nyo itong i-replace ng pressure. Okay? You can replace the C with P kung gaseous yung carrier ng adsorbate. Okay? Pwede nyo itong i-replace ng P. Okay? Now, Q over Q max. Q equals Q max. So, Q, ibig sabihin ng Q, punta tayo dito. So, Q means the mass of the adsorbate per mass of the adsorbent. Okay? So, ang ibang term, the other term for this sa ibang books ay X over M. Baka lang magbasa kayo ng ibang books, yung Q, okay? Yung Q is the mass of the adsorbate over the mass of the adsorbent. Okay? Yung X, that's the mass of the adsorbate, and yung M, that's the mass of the adsorbent. Alright? Q max is the maximum value of Q. Bakit? Ba't may maximum value yung Q? Kasi guys, maximum value yung Q because the surface area is limited. Diba? The surface area is limited. So, hindi maano lahat. Hindi, meron lang siyang maximum. Kasi nga, limited nga yung surface. Inulit ko lang. Okay? So, that's your Q and Q max. Maximum Q. Alright? So, next na parameter that I would like to emphasize is this, theta. So, theta is the fraction of the surface covered. And it is equal to Q over Q max kapag Langmuir isotherm. Okay? Think of it as ganito. For example, halimbawa lang ha, meron kang Q max na 9. Halimbawa lang ha. ito yung buong surface mo, tapos ang Qmax nito ay 9. Ito, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Lagay ako ng adsorbate. Okay, for example, 3. So, ang Q ko will be 3. Okay? Ano yung theta natin? So, theta is 3 over 9. That is 1/3. This is the fraction of the surface covered. Okay? Fraction of the surface covered is 33% or 1/3. Okay? So, anong gusto kong emphasize dito? Kapag Langmuir isotherm, yung Q over Q max natin, okay, that is equal to theta. Such that you can write this as theta equals KLC over 1 plus KLC. And again, you can replace your C with pressure instead of concentration. Okay? Mas common to na form ng Langmuir isotherm. Okay? Again, your theta is simply Q over Q max kapag Langmuir isotherm or kapag mono layer. Okay? Now, the linearized form is this. Ginawa ko ng naka y equals mxb na to para hindi na kayo mahirapan. So, kung meron kayong set of data points ng C, okay, if you have set of data points of C and Q, okay, of course, you will use linear regression. So, C over Q will be your y, 1 over Q max will be your slope, C will be your x, and 1 over Q max KL will be your b. Okay? So, yun yung linear form. Linearized form. Now, let's go to Freundlich isotherm. So, the Freundlich isotherm, the keyword here is physisorption. Okay? Mostly applicable ang Freundlich isotherm if you have physisorption. Okay? Now, here's the equation. Q equals Kf C raised to 1 over N or pwedeng palitan yung C ng P. Okay? Now, the linearized form is, i-take nyo lang yung log ng both sides. Take the log of all the sides of the equation such that your linearized form will be log of Q will be your Y, 1 over N will be your M, log of C or P will be your X, and log of KF will be your B. Okay? So those are the linearized form. Lumalabas to sa board exam ha. So kailangan nyo i-memorize. Madali lang naman yung mga equations na to. Okay? Isama nyo na yun sa kakabisaduhin nyo sa FICEM. Okay, next. Let's go to this graph. So I would just like to emphasize na as the concentration, kahit sobrang taas ng concentration ng adsorbate nyo, kahit gano'n pa yun ka-concentrated, meron lang maximum na Q. Tinan yung Langmuir, okay, at saka yung Freundlich, di ba? Magiging constant siya through time. Okay? So meron lang silang Qmax. Meron lang silang maximum. Kahit pagano karami yung pwedeng i-adsorb, okay? Kahit pagano kadami yung pwedeng i-adsorb dyan, may limit lang. Kasi nga, limited yung surface ng adsorbent. Okay? Next. So, yun yung gusto ko lang i-emphasize. Kasi, sa next natin na slide, okay? For the Freundlich isotherm, okay? Your N must be greater than 1. Now, guys, itong exponent na to, okay, will be the 1 over N must be less than 1 if your N is greater than 1. Diba? Ganun naman yon sa mathematics. Simple arithmetic. Okay? Now, bakit dapat less than 1 ang value ng exponent or ng 1 over N? Kasi guys, hindi siya magiging ganito kung ang N nyo ay 1 pataas. Kung 1 pataas, yung N nyo from your mathematics, ano yun? Magiging ganito yan. Magiging ganito itsura niya. Parabola. Mali. Kasi, ano yung sabihin? Habang pataas ang concentration, papunta sa infinity ang ma-adsorb. Ang galing naman nun, di ba? So, hindi pwede. Kaya ganito yung graph. That's why I showed you the graph kanina. Para ma-realize nyo na yung value dapat, in mathematics, ang value dapat ng 1 over N should be less than 1. Okay? Now, kasi guys, merong natanong dati sa board exam na ano daw ang common value ng 1 over N. Okay? So, sa choices, pipiliin nyo, kung ano yung value nito. So, pipiliin nyo yung value ng exponent na dapat dapat hindi lalampas sa 1. Okay? Dapat hindi lalampas sa 1 ang value. Alright? Now, to narrow down, okay, the normal range of 1 over n should be 0.7 to 1 kapag physisorption. Okay? Pag physisorption, 0.7 to 1. Okay? Ibig sabihin, pag merong choice na letter A, 0.5 at letter B, 0.8, most likely, here's the answer, 0.8. Kasi ito yung common. Okay? So, yun lang yung gusto kong emphasize dito. Kasi yun nga, nagkaroon ng board exam question dati regarding this. Alright? Okay. Now, the application. Okay, let's go to the applications of adsorption. Okay? Isa sa main application ng adsorption is sa refrigerator nyo. May adsorption doon, di ba? Yeah, di ba? Kasi, di ba, pag halimbawa merong matanda sa bahay, meron at meron yan na uling sa loob. Di ba? Sa mga lumang model ng ref, may uling sa loob. Ano sabi ng matatanda? Ba't merong uling sa loob? Di ba? Merong uling sa loob, minsan nakalagay sa lalagyan ng leche flan, minsan nakalagay sa garapon, di ba? So, bakit daw may uling sa loob? Pampatanggal daw ng mabahong amoy, kung meron man. Okay? So, ang function kasi guys ng uling, which is carbon, is nag-adsorb siya ng mga organic substances. Alright? Yung mga nagkukos ng mabahong amoy, ina-adsorb ng uling. So, yun yung reason. Okay? Di ba alam niyo yun, activated carbon? When say activated carbon, mas ano lang siya, mas capable siya of adsorption yung ano natin, yung carbon natin. Okay? So, yeah, that's one of the examples. Ano pa? Silica gel. Sa mga desiccators, silica gel are adsorbent. Adsorbent din sila. Okay? Now, let's go to the more large scale, fixed bed adsorption columns. So, fixed bed adsorption columns, sa industries, madalas siyang ginagamit. Okay? So, as the name implies, fixed bed, naka-fix yung adsorbent sa loob ng column. Nandito yung adsorbent sa loob ng column, tapos hayaan nyo lang na lumagpas dito yung carrier. It can either be liquid or gas. So, papalampasin nyo dito yung liquid or gas sa adsorption column. Okay? Para yung adsorbate mag-adhere. Kapag saturated na yung bed, ang ginagawa, pinapadaanan ng solution para malinis, okay, yung adsorbent para magamit na ulit. Okay? So, ganun lang yung fixed bed adsorption columns. Next, surface catalysis. So, surface catalysis, adsorption process din yun, okay, wherein yung surface natin, in this example, sa ammonia synthesis, this is iron surface, okay? So, ang ginagawa niya, dinidissociate niya yung N2 at H2 in their atomic forms. Tapos, saka, madidikit yung N at H. And it will form ammonia. Okay? So, yun yung adsorption process natin that involves ammonia synthesis. Aside from that, surface catalysis, di ba common to? Sa hydrogenation, di ba meron madalas na metal involved like nickel, palladium. So, same. Yung mechanism, yung hydrogen, no, kumakapit sa metal surface, then it will become atomic hydrogen, which is capable now of binding dun sa ethylene. So this ethylene here, adsorb. So yung ethylene, pag na-adsorb siya dun sa nickel surface, the pi bond disappears. Okay? So nag-release pa siya ng dalawang electrons. Tapos, kakapit yung dalawang hydrogen atoms, then it will form a bond and it will form the ethane molecule. Okay? Example lang to. There are still many more types of surface catalysts. Okay? Next. So the colloids will be continued on the next video. So it will be 2 parts. So that ends the first part of our PChem 10, the adsorption process. So again, continue nyo yung panonood dun sa second part ng surface chemistry, which is yung colloids.